Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Amanda here, and today we're talking about this brand new Ulta exclusive collection from ColourPop. This is the Sure Thing collection, and it is currently available, but only at Ulta. I'm not sure when this will be available on the ColourPop site. Typically, these little Ulta collections do eventually make their way over to the ColourPop site. I know my international friends in particular don't have access to Ulta, so I will keep my fingers crossed for you. I will try to keep you updated when or if this becomes available on the site. And when it does, if it does, you can always use my affiliate code. It's just my first name, Amanda, and that will save you 10% on most things on the ColourPop site. So you can save a little moolah that way if you're interested. Now, I really want to go through this collection carefully, up close, swatches. I'm going to do a couple of comparisons as well, but there are some re-promoted shades here, so I want to make sure I point those out to you so that you don't accidentally repurchase a product that you already have. So let's start with the cheek products. We do have two Super Shock cheeks. I really like the outer packaging on here with the ColourPop logo. Looks like it's written in the sand at the beach. I just think that's so cute. I love that idea. Now, these, as you can tell, are not the typical Super Shocks in the pots with the twist-off lids. These are in compacts, and the compacts are exactly the same packaging-wise, but the shade names are on sticker labels on the back, so that's how you can tell them apart if you end up grabbing two. And these are in a magnetic compact. There is a mirror inside this compact as well. Mine still has the little protector sticker on top, but there is a mirror in here. And these do not dry out on me. I've had a lot of people ask about that because the screw top pots keep them sealed so that they can retain their moisture. These have done well in the compacts for me anyway. These are priced at $10 US a piece. There are two different shades. Flip Flop, which is a soft kind of golden color, and then Natch, which is a warm bronze. Here's a little arm swatch for you so that you can see the difference between the two. Typically, I would have liked to see a third option, but I do think that between these two, most of us are going to find something that we like, but more options for face complexion is always better in my opinion. Here's just a little comparison of the most similar shades I had in my personal collection. A Smile and a Song is from the original Disney release way many moons ago. And then Churro is a little bit more pinky toned, but I think these are really close, really good comparisons, at least for what I have just here in my own personal ColourPop collection. Now let's talk about the Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Stains. These are $8 a piece. This is one of my absolute favorite lip formulas, not just from ColourPop, but in general. I wear these a lot. Same little beachy look on the outer packaging, and then we're seeing the same palm leaf type of motif here on the actual lipstick products themselves. These are the exact same size and shape as all of the other Fresh Kiss components. Same applicator, same formula, same scent. Everything is the same. It's just the little leaf print, the little palm leaf print on the top that's different. We do have two re-promoted shades and two new shades. So the first two shades that I'm going to swatch for you, First Bite and Sun Kiss, are already existing within the ColourPop line, so make sure you don't already have those if you're planning on ordering these. And then we have On the Wharf and Caftan, which are the new shades for this collection. I didn't do comparisons for these, partially because half the shades are re-promoted anyway, and partially because these leave such a bad stain, and I am about to be in a wedding in just a couple days, so I need to not have a horrifically stained swatch arm for my dress that I'm wearing for this wedding. So sorry, but that has to take precedence I'm sure you understand. Now we're looking at the Jelly Mud shadows. These are $9 a piece. Neither of these are new shades. These were both released with the Wild Nothing collection. So again, make sure you double check your Jelly Mud shadows and avoid reordering the exact same thing. Don't be like me, because I did order all of this stuff and I did not realize how many of these were re-promoted shades until I had them in hand. So just be better than me. I'm taking one for the team here. And also a reminder, I do have a whole video about Jelly Mud shadows, about how to revive them, how to use them, and I will link that video in the description box for you. Make sure you keep the little stoppers that are inside that you just saw me remove there. That helps seal in the moisture for this product, which is absolutely critical for their performance. So keep your stoppers, double check what you have so that you don't accidentally order doubles, especially because $9 is kind of a lot for a single shadow. I'm just saying. Now we're moving on to the eyeshadow quads. There are 4 different little eyeshadow palettes in this collection. These are priced at $10 US a piece. They are exactly the same packaging as all their other little square quads like this. The pans are glued into these, so you can't swap out the pans like you can in a lot of their other palettes. Just keep that in mind. The first 2 that we're looking at here, Shellbound and Sure Thing, look so similar when they're in these little boxes that I had to do a double take to make sure that they didn't accidentally send me 2 of the same palette, because when they're swatched, you can tell the difference. I mean, obviously there's not a wild amount of difference between these color stories, but they just looked so similar in the boxes. And frankly, I could have done a billion different comparisons for these little orangey and pinky quads. I'm only going to show you 2 different comparisons each because I have 4 palettes here, so that's already 8 comparisons. Like I said, I need to spare my arm and not look like a stained mess, so I'm just going to give you a handful of comparisons later on. Next, I'm going to show you Beachy Keen and Wait and See. Again, another neutral palette. I think this little blue Wait and See palette is the best of this collection in my opinion. However, I am happy to see that none of these have any eye safety warnings. So there's no pressed glitters, there's no pigment warnings. I always love to see that. I love eye health. I love you being safe and healthy and happy and not irritated. So we love to see it. I can kind of understand doing this very sandy little neutral quad. It's at least beachy. I don't really think that the pink and orange quads really lend a lot to the theme. So I definitely prefer Beachy Keen and Wait and See over the other 2 quads. They just make more sense to me, and I also think they look really pretty together. When I see them swatched all together, I can see the beach theme. And I am somebody that likes to mix in some neutrals if I'm going to wear a blue. I don't typically do an all blue look. I typically will mix in some of these nice little sandy neutrals. So my preference, just my own personal preference, if you like the other ones, then that's fine too. You know, I'm always glad for more variety. But for me personally, I like these 2 and I could really live without Shellbound and Sure Thing quads. So that being said, let's go into some comparisons because we have a lot of very juicy, very spot on comparisons. First round, we're going to compare Lucky Penny and By the Rosé to Shellbound and Sure Thing. And these are very similar. And they're not the only ones. Like I said, I could have done so many comparisons and been this spot on with a bunch of other ColourPop palettes, but I do think you'll be able to get the gist from the few comparisons that I have for you here. Next up, we're going to look at Coast to Coral and Fine Feathered. And again, these are pretty similar. Coast to Coral is not quite as spot on because we do have that one metallic shade that we're missing, but overall, pretty similar. Even if they're not exactly shade for shade the same, you're going to be getting a lot of the exact same looks out of these palettes. Now let's take a look at some Beachy Keen and Wait and See comparisons. Now, Going Coconuts and Blue Moon are not quite on the nose here. Going Coconuts is a little too neutral toned. It doesn't have that golden sand type of tone that Beachy Keen has. And Blue Moon doesn't have that green-based, oceany, turquoise type of blue to it. So these aren't quite spot on. However, when we move over to Nude Mood and High Tide, these are pretty much indistinguishable. I won't say that they're exactly the same because High Tide doesn't have that deep, deep, deep navy that Wait and See has. But again, you're gonna get the exact same looks out of these palettes. And I know everybody was waiting for the High Tide comparison. With the theme and everything, it's just a little bit too spot on for me. Now, overall, I would say my personal favorites from this collection are, of course, the quads that I mentioned, particularly the Wait and See. That's really the one eyeshadow palette that I would most highly recommend. I just think it's the most special from this collection of little eyeshadow quads. I do really like the soft golden Super Shock cheek, the one called Flip Flop. It's cute. It suits my complexion. I do wish we had at least a third Super Shock cheek option, but with these Ulta collections, they do tend to be a little bit smaller. And when it comes to the lips, I do think that the two new shades are really nice. I wish that we didn't have these two re-promoted shades, especially because the Fresh Kiss line is pretty new. So it's not really making that much sense for me to see re-promotions already. But I think the two new shades, On the Wharf and Caftan, are really beautiful. And I love a little medium nude shade. So On the Wharf just really floats my boat. Get it? Because it's an ocean. Okay, I'm going to stop. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this collection. Are you interested? Did you notice all these re-promos before I pointed them out? Have you already ordered? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And I love your face. Okay, bye!